spot.
Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning.
Top of the morning.
My mama loves shortening bread, shortening bread, shortening bread.
Mom's little baby loves shortening bread.
Bro, that new Kendrick song is fire.
Bread. Have you ever seen that clip with Patti LaBelle and Dolly Parton, though?
Of course I have,
Where they're playing their acrylics?
Yeah.
So cute.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
I love how, like, you and I had two very different ideas of how to start this podcast.
Yeah.
That's
normally and I tried to adapt it, and I was like, I don't think I can.
No. Yeah. Cameron went hard with the Kendrick reference, and somehow it didn't meld with the Dolly Parton.
There's no room for Dolly. I would.
And there should always be room for Dolly.
I would love a Dolly Parton and Kendrick collab. Are you kidding me, dog?
What would that sound like?
There was once a time where Lil Nas X wanted to do a Old Town Road remix with Dolly Parton, and he was like gunning for it, and it never happened. But
that's a shame. That probably would have been
that'd be so good.
A lot of fun.
I want that.
You know?
I want it.
But does Dolly Parton still make music?
Absolutely.
Like new music, like to this day?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I think she's a little bit more focused on like her activism now, you know, like creating the Moderna vaccine. But
she was directly responsible for that. Many people know. Many people don't know that she, in fact, created the Moderna vaccine with her hairspray.
Yes.
She was like, I got to figure it out, folks. You'll never believe it.
Would you ever go to Dolly World?
What is that?
You don't know Dolly World?
No.
Dolly World.
Is that an amusement park?
It's a Dolly Parton theme park.
Really?
Yes.
Where is it?
It's in Nashville, I think.
Hang on.
You look it up?
Of course I can look. I could do this now.
Yeah.
Now that my phone.
Now that we're not using your phone as a camera.
Yeah.
But no, it's an honest to goodness theme park with like rides and attractions and shit, all Dolly Parton themed.
Dolly World. It is closed at the moment.
Of course.
Wow. Did she build this? Like with her
with her bare hands? With her bare hands.
No, I'm assuming she has something to do with like the fun. Like
yeah. It's her brand.
I guess.
Is that insane?
I mean, like, sure. Like,
God, everybody right now, take a second and like look up Dolly World if you don't know about Dolly World.
It's a Dolly.
Or is it Dolly World or Dollywood?
Dollywood.
Dollywood. Yes.
It's a fucking theme park.
Yes.
It's a Dolly Parton theme park. Mm-hmm. A Dolly Park.
A Dolly Parkin. Yeah. No, I would love. Did you find out where it is though?
Oh, I was just looking at pictures.
I think it's in Nashville. But I'm not. I mean, I thought it was called Dolly World.
It's in a place called Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Tennessee. Okay, I was right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not in Nashville, but it is in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Very cool. I would love to go one day.
Well,
I'm a Dolly Parton fan in the sense that I respect Dolly Parton and her work. I don't know her music all that well.
I mean, I know like Jolene.
That's all I know.
It's a good ass song though.
Yeah.
Like I love how that many people.
And obviously, I Will Always Love You. She wrote that too. The one made popular by Whitney Houston.
Oh, really?
Dolly Parton originally wrote and recorded it.
I did not know that.
Apparently, and like, I've never heard anything like confirming this. It's mostly just internet, like tweets and stuff like that. But apparently she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You in the same day.
Wow, what a day.
Yeah.
What a bad day
right?
for Dolly.
I know.
Like a little whiplash there, Miss Parton.
I heard another rumor that Jolene is like a joke that she had between her and her husband because there was like this woman who was like gunning for her husband, but like obviously had no chance. So like over the years, her and her husband joked that like, oh, like if you don't do what I say, like I'm gonna leave you for Jolene. And Jolly's like, yeah, right, sure. Like you're gonna downgrade for that whore.
Right. But, that whore.
But I also don't know if that's true either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love to think that Dolly Parton was really going through it one day and gave us two absolute bangers.
Dolly Parton had what is arguably the worst day of her life.
Yes,
and wrote two of the most legendary songs ever written in like the North American lexicon. Yeah, or the registry, or whatever the fuck.
And then built Dollywood with her bare hands.
She immediately, with the money she made from those songs, was like, I want an amusement park.
Yes,
and go and made one. Like,
I would love that.
What's confusing me about Dollywood is that it's like, who approached who about the amusement park?
What came first?
Like, did a bunch of like park funders go to Dolly Parton? Was like, do you want an amusement park?
Yeah.
Based around you? She was like, yeah, I do. Or was she like, it
was her.
She went to like the people who made Disneyland. Yeah. She's like, people are gonna love this.
I would love to think that Dolly Parton is so confident in herself that she came up with Dollywood all on her own.
Yeah.
Who was like, I really think that everybody would love a Dolly Parton theme park. And she was right.
I mean,
and she's absolutely
clearly
correct.
It's made enough money to like stay open.
Yeah.
Like continue to be open.
It's been around for years.
Survive the pandemic.
Imagine like videos of people like crying when Dollywood eventually reopens.
People going to get their little Dolly Parton hats with the long hair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a Mickey Mouse hat, but it's just like her hair.
Like her giant hair.
Giant wig.
Yeah.
You get does Dolly Parton
like
have
a backpack? And it's got one of the like clips to help support your back, you know, like those orthopedic backpacks, but like the clip is just two massive bazongas. It comes together.
I was gonna ask you, Dolly Parton has big boobies, right?
Yeah, she has enormous knockers.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
she's very proud of them.
Well, good for her. But yeah. I couldn't remember. I was like, there's a few prolific blonde women with giant hair who have massive knockers, and I was like, does Dolly Parton have?
She's in
tits?
that club. I think she's the grandmother of that club.
The big titty blonde lady club.
Yes.
I didn't want to say bitch. It would have fit the alliteration, but I didn't say it because she's a bitch.
Congratulations, Cameron. You truly are one of the good ones.
Listen. Thank you. Girl power.
Thank you, King.
Girl power.
Thank you.
I'm with her still.
Oh, do you want to come to the feminist cookout? It's super secret, and not everybody knows about it.
Yeah, dude.
Only a select few men that we like, who say the right things.
Right.
Get in there, and not calling Dolly Parton a big titty bitch is one of them.
Oh my god, great!
It's a huge one.
Could I
It's actually one of the rarer ones that most people miss, but you're so special and so good,
right?
That you got it, baby.
Could I like Instagram the whole thing? Could I like?
No, we'll totally
make a big show about it.
Yeah, no, you can come into our secret society and just like blow up our spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
And make the whole thing about me.
We've actually been waiting for a man to come in and do this exact thing.
Well, I mean, Sam, I've said forever that the one person who's going to fix all the women's problems in the world is likely a white man.
Yeah. And I mean,
I fit the bill.
Part and parcel, everybody.
I'm white.
He's here.
I'm a man.
Yeah.
Feminism.
And really, thank God.
Yeah.
Right? It was time. We were struggling. We were having a really, really hard time, and I'm just so happy that you get it. Mm-hmm. You know? You fucking get it.
And scene. Hope you guys like that rendition. It's we're working on a play. Should be out this fall.
It's site specific.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're actually going to the feminist headquarters in North America.
It's going to take place in the grotto at the Playboy Mansion.
Yes.
Cameron will be playing Gloria Steinem.
I don't even know who that is.
She, I think she went undercover for a newspaper in the Playboy Mansion, like exposed a lot of the sexism that the models are exposed to. Yeah. Back in like the 70s when it was like not cool.
Well, because back when it really was just like a big mansion full of women being like, you know,
Objectified.
Yeah. like I actually don't fully know what Playboy is as an institution because they don't make porn. Like their magazines don't even have nudity in them anymore.
I mean, they did make porn back in the day. They didn't make like full on like penetration like videos.
No, it was like softcore like.
They
you can almost see my labia.
Photos. No, you could there was full vag.
I mean, in the magazines for sure.
No, there was full vag in Playboy.
That's what I just said in the magazines.
Oh, okay. I thought you said in the rags, and I was like,
"The fuck does that mean?"
like lesser than like sexual magazines, and I was like, "No, like Playboy, like the creme de la creme, definitely made like full frontal nude photos."
I have in my youth before gone to a convenience store, and found a Playboy, and like not even opened it up, like on the cover. Yeah. There was just like
pussy.
Yeah. Pussy on the cover.
Yeah.
That's power.
And like,
that's feminism.
I've seen retro Playboy, like 70s era Playboy with like full bush.
Just
but
bush?
It was like that was, you know.
You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Because he's bush.
Yeah.
You know,
but that was the style. That was full nudity in the 70s.
Yeah. You know what? Also feminism. Nothing like a hairy woman.
Yes. Yeah. I shaved them because it didn't go with my outfit one night, but I was doing the hairy armpit thing for a while.
Yeah.
It wasn't freeing, and it wasn't like, you know,
it wasn't the transformative experience you thought it would be.
No, it wasn't freeing, and it wasn't like locking myself down either. It was. I felt truly neutral about my hairy armpits.
Do you think you'll keep it up now? You're just like,
nah. I like the look of a shaved armpit for me, but I'm definitely more inclined to be like lazy about it.
Sure.
Like I remember when I was a teenager, like at this stage that it's at. Sorry for everybody who doesn't care about my armpits. But you know, like the prickly stage, I would like, gotta shave it. But now I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'll shave it when it's time.
Get all loosey goosey with it. Yeah. Why not? Right.
Yeah.
Because you're your own woman.
I am.
And it's not the end of the world if you shave your armpits.
No.
But you know what is the end of the world? what we're talking
The
about
end of the
today.
world.
Yeah.
In fact.
It's today's topic.
Yes. We were at like 10 minutes on the dot. 10 minutes of like bullshit, like stream of consciousness talk. And now we're like on the topic.
It's almost like we pay really close attention to these things and have many timers.
It's almost like we're professionals.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about the end of the world today.
Yeah.
Figure we're all living in the end times, so why not just talk about it? Although we're not talking about the real world apocalypse scenario.
No, because that's depressing.
We're talking about fictional podcasts, or excuse me, fictional apocalyptic scenarios.
Your Mad Maxes, your dystopian futures.
Your Blade Runners.
Your Blade Runners.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your Apocalypse Now, even.
It's like
we were talking about the apocalypse, I think, like in a stream or something like that, and I brought up Apocalypse Now, and that's not correct.
And we were all like, that's not an apocalypse
it's
movie.
not a literal apocalypse movie.
No, I mean, like, yeah, it's a war movie.
It takes place during the Vietnam War.
May as well. I mean, it's apocalypse for some people.
There are some areas of Vietnam that did not recover.
Yeah.
That's not what we're talking about today.
But what we're talking about today, we're going to go through some stuff. We're just going to think. We're going to pontificate about fun fictional apocalypse scenarios to start us off. So Sam, in fiction, do you have a favorite apocalypse scenario? Like, go see a movie, read a story?
No, I think no one gets it right.
Really? That's interesting.
No one does it good. I mean, like,
there has been no good apocalypse stories in your opinion?
I mean, I also don't know very many of them. Right. So let's keep that in perspective. I think like a natural disaster, like a day after tomorrow situation, would be cool.
Like weather apocalypse.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, like a natural disaster that ends the world, or, you know, like climate change just like has its way with us all and ends humanity as we know it. I don't like zombie apocalypses, and I don't like, even before COVID, I don't like pandemic apocalypses where like a disease wipes out entire humanity. It's not fun.
It's too real.
It's not fun. Yeah, like it wasn't fun before the pandemic, and it's especially not fun now.
Yeah, no
so I don't like it.
But like, okay, so like, what is an apocalypse scenario in your opinion then that you think would make a good story?
I think, okay, hear me out. I think a true and honest and not too obtuse take on what it would be like if the 1% imploded and the economy, like too many economies imploded all at once. The housing bubble burst, the wealth bracket burst, you know, all the billionaires go to Mars and leave us all.
Like an Elysium style.
Yeah. And like the class war, like just blows up and the world as we know it ends. I mean, like, I just think it would be interesting because like the quote unquote world would end, but it really wouldn't, right? Because humans aren't the only organism living and breathing on this planet. So I think it would be interesting to see like what goes on, how nature picks up.
Right.
One of my favorite, this isn't an apocalypse movie, it's more like a documentary, but have you ever heard of Aftermath on the Discovery Channel?
No.
It basically envisions what the world, like what the planet would do if humans suddenly disappeared, if we stopped existing. And essentially it predicts that, you know, bad things would happen, you know, like the biggest thing being like nuclear plants would like explode after not being monitored.
Right.
And that would be bad for like nature, but eventually over the years nature would recuperate.
Boy, the planet's going to be here long after we're gone.
And I think envisioning a world where like some humans remain, but most of us like die out,
right.
and our world ends that humans have created, and what the select few humans who survive that would do while all of this sort of like aftermathy stuff is happening. I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah, it's like Mad Max.
Yeah,
because like if I'm not mistaken, I think Mad Max, the reason for the apocalypse, I believe, was climate change.
Okay.
In Mad Max.
Okay.
So like climate wiped everybody out.
Okay.
And then who was left was just people to fend for themselves.
Yes.
And then obviously it
they
came
created,
into this, you know, this fucking horrible dystopian.
Yeah, they created these awful
scape,
like castes in themselves.
The Thunderdome. You know, where like we all drive sick cars and have to fight each other with swords and guns.
Yeah.
You know, that's the apocalypse that I want. I would love to drive around the desert all day.
Yeah, in like a giant fucking monster truck.
You know, that'd be so sick.
Yeah.
Get my own giant 18-wheeler full of water and shit.
Yeah.
Furiosa. Be my bride. That's what I took away from that movie.
Yeah.
Hashtag feminist.
Yeah. Once again, you're the guy for the job, babe.
What can I say?
I'm really.
This whole podcast episode is going to be my resume to be king of the feminists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The queen is listening.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Femluminati. They're listening.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who would be in the Femluminati?
Beyonce.
Just her. She's the queen. No, it'd be like Beyonce, be like
Rihanna.
No Name, the rapper.
Yes.
Or the activist now, I guess. I think she probably preferred to be called.
Yeah. I think No Name would be a better queen than Beyonce.
And then Dolly Parton. That's the four of them. They're the Femluminati.
The Femluminati is in the underground tunnels below Dollywood. And they're secretly running the world.
Dollywood is just a front.
Can we start that conspiracy theory?
100%, yeah.
I love that.
I'm going to write that down. Femluminati.
Femluminati?
Femluminati.
Underground tunnels, Dollywood.
Exactly.
Someone's going to find that notebook one day. And be
like, years from now, when the world has ended, they'll dig up this notebook and be like, look at these strange drawings and something about the Impact Festival. Must have been an important thing for humans back then.
What is your favorite apocalypse scenario, Cameron?
My favorite apocalypse scenario, Sam, is one where it's like has to do with like the technological boom. Like singularity.
Okay.
So the idea that like one day machines are just gonna like take over and that's the it. You know, they're gonna reach singularity, which is effectively when all the AIs in the world are realized at the same time. I'm gross oversimplifying
autonomous.
this, but yeah, they realize that they're superior, and then they just like implode and start like destroying all technology,
like an iRobot kind of thing.
An iRobot kind of thing, a Blade Runner kind of thing. Where like cyberpunk stuff gets out of hand, and people would survive. There would be survivors, because there's people who would just like hook up with the technology and just be like, great, I am now on the same level,
to
or it's what it would be. But like in terms of like fictional stories, like those are the ones I'm most interested in. I love a cyberpunk aesthetic. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Well, I didn't know anything about cyberpunk really until the game came out.
Right.
And because it was a visual example of what it could of one way that a cyberpunk society could potentially look like. And it's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of the griminess of it all. You know me. Yeah. I don't like dirt.
That's fair.
I don't like dirt.
That's like a core
and oil and
a core
greasiness.
pillar of cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Is like the grit.
Yeah.
Like cyberpunk is a very gritty aesthetic. It's often not very clean.
Yeah.
Because the clean is reserved for because the whole idea with cyberpunk is like class disparity.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That like the lowest of the low live amongst the muck and the shit.
Yeah.
And the highest of the high live in like pristine, clean, glossy technology.
Yeah.
Right? And that's always what these stories incorporate.
And there's no in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very little anyway.
Yeah. You either have or you don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's really interesting. And I think that if like realistically speaking, like what do you think is like besides like the current apocalypse scenario that we're all living in, like what do you think is like a realistic apocalypse scenario?
The one we're currently in right now.
Yeah, probably the most realistic.
I think that
or like aliens.
Not to be a downer, but yeah, to aliens. Not to be a downer, but I think that a pandemic that doesn't discriminate against who it infects, but does affect. I mean, like those who can afford care are the ones who are going to survive it the most. Is just. It's just the most likely outcome for our Western capitalist society.
Right.
Those who can afford to get better, stay better, and go on to survive. And it's a very select few, and it whittles down humanity until there's only so much left of the world. Yeah. And
only the best people left.
Yeah. The best. So yeah. However, sometimes I think like, oh, if I didn't survive the apocalypse, and rich people were only left, who would become the poor of the rich?
Right.
Because someone always has to be better. Yeah.
We can go on that in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Sam here to remind you that we make sketches as well over on our YouTube channel. Do you want to see me do drag? Do you want to see Cam play a video game that's intent to kill him? Well, head on over to our YouTube page and check us out. Back to the podcast. But yeah, I would live to see like
the riches.
Who becomes the poor rich people?
Right.
When all of the rich people eradicate the poor, because it's like you motherfuckers still always have to someone's got to be above somebody else.
Of course, that's
There's gonna be a new poor class.
How this all works.
So I would love to see I'm trying to think. I would love to see someone like Kanye West, honestly, just become poor all of a sudden, and it's yeah, you're a black man. What did you expect?
Wow.
that fucking Marilyn Manson was gonna be on your side once he had to choose.
This is true.
How does that feel?
Right.
How does that feel to sell yourself out for ultimately nothing? bitch.
Well, yeah, you know what's interesting, because like you raise a good point. Like really, like let's like pontificate on the idea. So it's like, if there was only rich people left, if there was only like the 90, like the 2%, the 2% percentile, we'll say, like the people who are like billionaires all the way down to like people who are just shy of being millionaires. Yeah. Right? Like let's like assume those are the people left. Inflation would take over if there's a government left. Yeah. And being, making $900,000 a year would now be poor. Yes. And then the billionaires would just be like their quote unquote, like there would be no class, there would be like, well, it would be much class disparity, but it would be like the lower class would make like 900,000, and then the middle class would be like your millionaires to 100 millionaires. And then of course your 0.1% are left are like being billionaires and shit now. Right. Yeah. And then, I mean, I imagine that would last maybe 2 weeks before everyone died. Yeah. Because the one people...
Because you can't go from being like on the top to being on the bottom that quickly.
No one. I mean, first of all, no one would want to have their whole social, and, monetary standing be changed. But people who are like, I'm still making the same amount of money, but I'm considered poor? Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the club, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But like...
I mean, we can't say that because we'd be dead.
I'd be dead.
But yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not surviving the class war.
Right.
That's why mentions of a class war amongst like radical activists like creep me out a little bit, because it's like, we're not surviving.
Right. Like we'd likely lose the class war. Yeah. They're the one with the money and resources. Yeah. What do you mean? Like what? It's like Avatar. It's like the fucking movie Avatar. Yeah. Where it's like, the big government corporation comes in with their giant airships, and we got like bows and arrows.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
Might take down one. Yeah. But they got like 100. And we lost like 40 guys. Like, this isn't working out.
Like 50 people show up for the class war, and then like the rich just show up with like tanks. Yeah, and we're like, we underprepared.
I was really hoping more people would show up for the class war. Did you put snacks on the flyer? No.
Did you tell them it was a pizza? Did you tell them that it was like a class war party? So I know, like that's my least favorite thing, when someone takes like a not fun activity and puts the word party at the end of it. Right. Like a studying party or like a moving party.
Tax evasion party.
We're not partying. Yeah. Like, just because you put Cheetos in a bowl doesn't mean it's fun now.
Yeah, I'll have you know that I eat Cheetos all the time. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Exactly.
This isn't special.
This isn't new to me. Yeah. This is not fun.
I'll have you know that I'm a degenerate. So when you do fun things with your not fun thing, it's like, bro, I'm always doing
You can't fool me. I know. Yeah. I know.
Okay, with that said, Sam, what apocalypse scenario do you think you could realistically survive? For me, I think the one that'd be easiest to survive is gonna be controversy. I think the easiest apocalypse scenario to survive would be a zombie apocalypse.
See, I was gonna say,
but it depends on the zombies.
I was gonna say monster invasion, but not like zombies. Aliens. Yeah. Okay. Like kaijus or something.
Interesting. Like a Pacific Rim style.
All you gotta do is lay low. Right. All you gotta do is mind your business, and I'm very good at that.
So let's pontificate on that. We'll go into mine in a minute. Let's pontificate for that for a minute. Like, so you're living in a Pacific Rim Godzilla style world where kaijus exist, right? It begs the question: do we have defense against that? Do our defenses work, or are you in the time period where we need to figure that out?
Well, think about it, right? These things always tend to take place in like giant metropolises.
Typically, yeah.
It's not like Godzilla's going for the countryside.
No.
Right?
Not enough people.
Right? No. It's also like location, right? Like big cities are built near water, because water is the key to life. So
really,
like huge bodies of water. So if you live far away from that and you can like survive, really like grit it out. Realistically, how long can it go on?
Right.
How long are the monsters going to be here? Like,
I guess they would
5 years.
Get hungry eventually, right? Right.
They gotta fuck off sometime.
But to where though?
I don't care, just not here. Well, then I will make do with whatever's left.
That is very that's very idealist. That's very,
of course. It's a hypothetical scenario, right? So I'm like thinking like, I'll just mind my business, not fight against, not necessarily outlast in I would fuck off and I would mind my own business somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the severity.
You can't be everywhere, right?
Of the monsters.
You're a giant monster. Mm-hmm. You're a singular giant monster. This isn't like Watchmen where like it rains fucking aliens on you all the time.
Right.
It's like one giant monster invasion or like two giant monster invasions. Right. You can't be everywhere. There's got to be somewhere I can go where they are not, and I will go there and I will mind my business until they're done, and then I will deal with the fallout.
Well, at that point, it's almost like a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, again, what their metaphor is for. But, like, you know, it's like...
True.
A monster shows up, fucks everything up, and then you're left to rebuild.
Yeah.
And, like... It depends on the intent of the monster. Is it like a giant beast where it's like literally just emerges from the water because it's hungry and then like starts eating people? Or is it like hell-bent on destroying everything? Because if it's the latter, you got a problem on your hands.
Yeah.
Like your hide away and wait technique won't necessarily work on something that's like wanting to destroy.
But is it looking for me specifically? I don't think it is.
It's just looking to destroy things.
Yeah.
Right.
No, like I would just, I would wait until it appears as if it has accomplished its goal.
Right.
And then emerge from, my bunker or whatever. And which, listen, like I low-key kind of want. Just vibe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're employing an interesting technique that's like, it's like a hide and seek technique.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you get close to the seeker early, and then they like successfully hide from them in that area, they likely won't come back. So, you're safe. It's like lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place.
Exactly.
Which I think is a myth, actually. But like it's actually not true.
Yeah.
But no,
but it's highly unlikely.
But logically speaking, you're right, though. Because this monster would, let's say, like, destroy Toronto. Let's like demolish Toronto.
Yeah.
You and like 30 people survive and then emerge from the ruins of Toronto. Like, why would that monster come back to Toronto?
It thinks, for all intents and purposes, it accomplished its job.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell it.
Right.
And for what it's worth, like, I would be smart about it. Like, I wouldn't like rebuild the CN Tower.
No.
Because that attracts attention.
You find like an apartment building or like a bunch of houses that like survived enough.
We all agree that skyscrapers are no longer a good idea.
Yeah.
And we live like less than 4 stories above ground. And just vibe out until the next one.
Go to the park, start a farm.
Yeah.
You get some crops growing.
Yeah. Just live a very unassuming life.
And then you form the new government.
Yes.
And Samism could be the forefront of the Toronto government. Samionism?
Yeah.
What would Samionism be?
Samionism means that I would have a very eclectic combo of all female or gender nonconforming people in power at all time. It's the rules.
Right.
Let me think here.
And everyone has to give you $20.
Yeah. No, like everybody would have to pitch in.
Right.
Taxes would be high, but the quality of life would also be very high.
Right, taxes would be high, but you're not using the money for shady, nefarious things.
Exactly.
You're actually taking the people's money and putting it back into the people.
Mandatory community gardens everywhere.
There you go.
No grocery stores because we would just like grow
Live
and
off the
trade.
land.
We would grow and trade with like everybody that we needed.
There you go.
You would make the majority of what you needed. Make your own clothes, make your own food, make your own shelter, that kind of thing.
Right,
but everybody helps each other out.
Right.
Like
it's a forging community.
You come together, and those who know how to build shelter teaches everybody else how to build shelter, and those who know how to grow and forage food teaches everybody about agriculture.
Samionism.
And everybody just fills in the blanks.
I think that should be the way we all do things. Forget capitalism.
Free healthcare.
It's all about Samionism.
Free healthcare, free internet. Everybody gets, it sounds a little bit like communism, but like everybody gets the same smartphone. There's no better or worse smartphone. It's just everybody has access to the internet and good technology at all times in order to survive.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, there you go. I mean, that sounds like certainly like a way to survive a monster apocalypse.
Yeah.
You should just hope that it doesn't run on a loop. Like it doesn't just like show up again in a year.
Yeah.
Just to be like, oh, hang on, I forgot my file. Hey, like just like
hey,
wait a second. I'm trying to think. So in my apocalypse scenario, I think personally the easiest apocalypse scenario to survive would be a zombie apocalypse.
You think?
I do think so because this conversation I've had many a time with many different people. It all hinges on one thing. It hinges on the properties of the zombies, right? Are we talking George Romero, Day of the Dead zombies, which kind of like lumber around in big groups? Are we talking like Left 4 Dead fucking sprinting zombies, like a World War Z, like sprint out a wall hard enough so they climb it zombies?
Yes. Yeah.
Are we talking like mutated people with like, is there going to be a zombie that can like lift a car above its head and throw it at me? Like,
like Last of Us, where it's like the
the mycelium zombies, like the mushroom zombies.
Yeah, where they like grow over time and eventually become just like these giant implosive terrible monsters.
Or is it like The Walking Dead, where like the zombies are slow, but the infection is airborne?
Yes.
So everybody's infected, and it doesn't matter how you die.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
You could die in a car crash and still become a zombie. Like that's kind of like, that's the reason why it got so bad.
Yeah.
Right? Because like people were dying left and right, and then zombies came up.
Yeah.
So let's make it so like it's like Walking Dead, where it's like the zombies are slow and they're strong. Because the thing with zombies is that humans have inhibitors in their brain to not use 100% of their strength because they don't want to hurt yourself, right? Zombies don't have that.
You only use 10% of your brain.
Bro, it's like limitless. Take a pill, but no. So zombies can tear you apart, no problem, because they have no inhibitions. But they're slow, and we'll say that like the infection is airborne. So if you die, you become a zombie. So you have to be careful of that. I think it'd be easy to survive for one reason, is that zombies are corpses. And when it gets cold, they're gonna freeze. You can just walk. That's how World War Z ends. Like the winter comes around, and then it's like, oh, they're all frozen. So the military that has survived up to this point
just like wipes them out,
and just like cleans up the corpses. And it's like, oh, there you go, we made it.
Huh?
Because here's the thing: zombies are slow. Granted, they are quiet. That's the scary part. They can sneak up on you, right? But it can't be that hard. Like, build high. Build a tower or something.
I just think it's disgusting.
It would smell like shit. Could you imagine what the world would smell like? I think
zombies are disgusting. Yeah. I also, I just don't appreciate the emotional turmoil that zombie apocalypses bring.
Right.
You know?
With their loved ones and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, my whole thing is, I personally feel like if... Like, I'm so inundated with nerd culture. And, like, zombies were a big thing for a long time, right? They still are, but, like, they really were really huge for a while. Yeah. I think all of my emotional attachment would be, like, out the window. Once it's like, oh, fuck, we're like, this is for real? Like, we're in a zombie apocalypse? If I went upstairs right now and my mom and dad were, like, infected, I would just go, like, that's not my mom and dad. They only look like them.
You think that you could flip the switch off that easily?
Yeah, I'm trying to live, dude.
I guess.
I'm not trying to die.
I definitely think the human side of me, if I'm being real, would pause for a second.
I would definitely take pause.
I would have to like, I would take it in, and that might seal my fate, right? Because you're like, holy fucking shit, like that's my mom. Like she looks like my mom. Yeah. But she's infected, and this terrible thing has happened to her. This sucks. Yeah. And then before you know it, like that's how you get bit. Yeah.
I'd shoot your mom in the face. Sorry.
You would double tap my mom.
Yeah, I mean, because she would want that.
Yes.
If she was alive,
yes,
she'd be like, Sam, please shoot me in the face.
Yeah, her spirit would like emerge and be like, Sam, it's not me.
Like Mufasa in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, Sam.
Remember who I am. Remember who I was. That's not me.
Don't go to
Let
the
me
shadowy
go.
place. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have something you want to add?
No, I think I mean it's a good call. Doing the slow zombie thing. Not a huge fan of the airborne illness part though.
Right.
I think you made a bad call there. I think you're underestimating just because like, you know, in my apocalyptic view, at some point like humanity can rebuild. How can you rebuild with a Walking Dead style airborne illness that affects you whether you're alive or dead, no matter what?
Well, here's the thing.
That you can't stop.
Once the present threat of the undead has been dealt with, in terms of like, you know, they're not actively infecting more people with their bites, and you dealt with the fact that there are walking corpses everywhere, or at least like dealt with it enough that you can contain certain areas. You have to gauge who survived, right? Because like, so the book World War Z, not the movie, but the book World War Z had this thing where it's like, some governments are more competent than others, and like militaries got together and like protected people. Like I personally believe that a full-blown military would definitely struggle against like a large zombie horde, but ultimately would win, because it's like, you shoot a zombie's legs off, it might not be dead, but now it's not moving anymore. Yeah. Right? They might crawl towards you if you really want to split hairs. Yeah. But like, they did this thing where it's like they were very tactical about it, where it's like they're always trying to do like a constant spray of fire, where it's like one team would fire, come back, reload, another team comes, fire, back, reload. So, you know, like with tactics and thinking, you can beat an enemy that doesn't think. Okay. Because zombies don't think. They're just all primal, right? It's eat, and eat, right? Yeah. So you deal with the present threat. You hopefully have preserved enough of your scientific community to work, like Moderna hopefully lives. Them and Dolly are going to be in the labs coming up with the anti-zombie vaccine. Yeah. To like deal with the fact that you're still infected and like get the infection out of you.
I mean, fingers crossed, because they could easily become zombies too. It doesn't discriminate.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. I'm not saying it would be easy. Yeah. I'm saying it's possible. Yeah. You know? And that's how I would survive.
I see what you mean.
Become like a fucking forager, you know? Yeah. Build a tower. live in the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I think the part where we get hard, though, legit, no matter what you do, is like, you run the risk of like all of a sudden there's 1,000 zombies at your door. Yes. Right? Like, doesn't matter how slow or stupid they are.
God, my day is fucking ruined.
Dang it!
So annoying.
I hate when this happens. You grab like a fucking head you have to the side, like, eat this! Fucking assholes. Taking away my free time and shit.
Now I'm not going to get to the grocery store until like 4. I'm gonna miss the fucking farmer's market because the zombie horde just had to show up today.
Wait, is there gonna be a farmer's market? I take my phone out and like Google it and it's like closed due to the apocalypse. Damn it! Fuck! Damn it. Who updated the hours? Someone must be alive.
Yeah.
That's how this movie starts.
Good news, somebody's alive in the farmer's market. Bad news, it's closed because of the zombie apocalypse.
But where are we gonna get our zucchinis?
God, I guess it's just, freeze-dried mango again. Fuck my life.
That'd be a funny idea for like a movie where it's like, people surviving the zombie apocalypse, but they're all like grass-fed organic people.
I mean, that's kind of Zombieland, isn't it? Not like, it's just like people being inconvenienced by the zombie apocalypse.
No, but I mean, like, it'd be funnier if it was like a family of like holistic wellness, like vegan, like only organic people. Mm-hmm. And instead of going to like the grocery store to like raid things, they have to go to like the Trader Joe's. They got to go to like the Whole Foods.
Yeah.
They actually remember like, there was a farmer's market in the 2 towns over that set up exactly at the time of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's where we need to go to get supplies.
It's like so much harder for them to survive because they will only eat organic food.
None of them died due to the zombies or the illness. They only died of hunger because they refused to eat anything but grass-fed organic food.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that movie.
Do it.
Yeah.
Encourage
it. Get it made by Paramount.
Make it stream on Paramount Plus.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Get that streaming money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's where it's all at.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will talk more about the end of the world.
Bye.
Bye.
For now.
Have you ever wanted to hear Cameron rant about Sonic the Hedgehog franchise unhinged and uninterrupted? Or do you want to see me play a puzzle in a Nancy Drew video game and struggle with it even though I've definitely played it before? Well then head on over to twitch.tv/chillspot where we stream 3 times a week for your viewing pleasure and our pain. Back to the podcast. And we are back.
Welcome to the end of the world. You talked about apocalypse scenarios that you think you would survive. What apocalypse scenario do you think that the world could realistically deal with and make a comeback?
Natural disaster.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It
would have to affect all of us.
Yeah.
Like every single country would have to be affected the same way.
Yeah.
By the apocalypse. We would all have to get hit with a giant wave. We would all have to get hit with a giant like heat wave that like knocks out all of our crops. Like everything would have to be the same.
Right.
Because like look at how we all came together to come up with a vaccine for COVID, right?
The great equalizer.
Yeah.
One might call it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have to be something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's all equal and all the same and we all deal with the same issue.
Yeah, because like contrary to what might be going on in the news, people are really adaptable. And humans are very good at surviving.
Some of us are, right?
Right.
Like we're all the what's it called?
I don't know. What are you trying to say?
Like we're like every generation of humans are made up of the humans who were able to adapt and survive the climate of the world that came before them.
Right. And like, as you know, if the world was to end, you'd be left with people who survive, who would eventually procreate. And then those children would know no different of a world. Right. Yeah. And it would become the norm. Right. Yeah. I think as far as infrastructure goes, like if there was like a great flooding, or like, you know, like a climate disaster, like something we might be dealing with. Like I do honestly believe that we would be able to bounce back and survive, you know? It would take big structural changes, and unfortunately I think a lot of people would die and suffer. Yeah. But like...
Those who choose not to would survive.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
That's simply how it works. You choose to survive.
Yeah. And we would have to live our life completely differently. That's the sucky part about climate change, is that people aren't prepared to live differently. They want to maintain sort of like the status quo that we've had this whole time. Right. This whole time. But the ones who are willing to would definitely survive.
Honestly, why not, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how that would work. Like I think like there was like a flooding. Like what we do, like there's I forget what it's called. I think it's called Deep. It's a comic book about like the world has ended due to flooding. And now everybody exists on like these like rafts. Because like the only structure that had survived of this great flooding would be like skyscrapers, right? So they're like tops are like sticking out of the water.
Yeah.
So people have like used them as like core structures and then built outward, like on top of the water.
Okay.
Kind of like in Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby.
Yeah, that like city that's on the water.
Yeah. What's it called again? Something Float Town. Float Town. That's what it's called now. It's called Float Town.
Float Town.
I want to be the mayor of Float Town.
Yeah.
Because like this shit's crazy to say, but like my favorite aesthetic is like wood on water towns.
Yeah.
So relaxing. It's like Jamaica.
I don't think so.
Well, no, there are certain resorts in Jamaica that do like...
Oh, like Bora Bora. This isn't Jamaica, but like in Bora Bora, there's like that crazy resort where like you stay in a hut on the water. It's like on pillars.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
And there's all like crystal blue waters.
Yes.
I mean, it probably wouldn't be as nice as I'm describing it. I imagine it'd probably be
we would live in like
and,
lake water.
Like green and like don't touch it or you'll die water. Chock full of parasites and sharks.
No, but we would figure out like ways to distill it and like live with the water.
Yeah, we wouldn't have
the
any...
best humans would.
And hopefully, I don't know, maybe like an Xbox will float to the surface or something. And you're like, oh shit, check it out. I wonder if it still works.
A special edition waterlogged Xbox.
Yeah. Think how much that would go for on the new eBay, consisting of 40 people.
The new eBay. Yeah. It's like, well, I have this freshwater kelp.
Yeah.
You can eat it fresh as a salad, or you can dry it and make like a jerky out of it.
Kelp jerky.
It's versatile. I'm the only one who has it. Do you want it? I'll take your waterlogged Xbox.
That'll be $50,000.
Yeah.
What?
That'll be 50,000 kelps.
Yeah, really. Yeah. They trade in kelp too. That's the new money.
Kelp is a new currency because it regenerates so fast that we can like harvest it and then like print on it.
God,
and,
imagine the inflation on kelp. Unbelievable.
That would be absurd.
The kelp markets are through the roof this year.
Yeah, you live in like kelp deserts where it's not as thick. And then only the rich live in like fields and fields and fields of kelp deserts.
Right.
And like Kim Kardashian's family like builds like a kelp empire that makes them all famous.
Again.
Yeah, again. Yeah.
They do it all over.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Could you imagine like, the thing, like total straight thought, like I think a genuine sign of the world ending, like I mean like literally like we're past the point, like the world is about to end, is when the internet shuts down.
Yeah.
Because eventually, like, people run the internet, right? Like, people, like, make sure the internet, like, stays up.
Well,
right?
we're wholly reliant on it.
And that's just it. The second it would get cut down, that is when, as, like, a species, I'm like, well, we're about to die.
Yeah.
Like, it's about to get bad up in this piece.
And it's like, I don't even think that it's a matter of, like, we can't survive without the internet, but it's like, think about how irrationally upset we get, or, like, you at home get when the modem shuts down.
Yeah.
Like, we would just freak out and throw a tantrum, and all of us collectively throwing a tantrum at the same time across the globe would not be good.
No. There'd be actual literal uprising.
It's not that we can't survive. It's that we're so spoiled. We're so like dramatically spoiled that we would lash out at each other and get pissed off. And like certain people would have like private like IT people who like come to remember like when California was on fire and everyone got pissed at Kim and Kanye because they had private firefighters outside their house.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Motherfuckers like them would hire like private IT guys to like secretly keep their internet up and running, and then like the internet would be like a thing that only the elite own, and we would all like rise up and like kill each other.
And then we would rush their mansions and kill them. Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. I think you're right. Like if there was like a global freak out due to internet cutting out at the same time, there'd be like literal uprisings.
Yeah.
Listen, if people can go to their government buildings and protest having to wear a mask in real life, having the internet get cut off for everyone would literally drive people to violence.
Yeah.
It might drive me to violence,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. Like, if I looked outside and my neighbors were rioting, I think I would just be like, well, and get my little horn helmet and put it on.
It's fucking time.
And be like, it's Mad Max time, baby.
Let's fucking go.
I've been customizing my car for years just for this.
You grab your toy Master Sword.
Yeah, exactly.
That you have.
Start fucking killing people with it. Like, Chug! Chug!
Oh,
Get my
God.
can of spray paint. I'm like... What's this?
What is
I'm
this
invisible!
Or like, see me, or like...
No, I think it's witness me.
Witness me,
Yeah.
Thank you, yeah.
I think I don't even get the line right.
See me!
I'm here!
Present! And you're like, just say here!
Yeah, Yeah, I want to be the guy strapped to the vehicle with the guitar. That's what I want to be.
That's badass.
You know?
Yeah,
I want to be that guy.
That guy was living the life, man. All he had to do was play guitar. He had nothing to do with any of the battles.
He wasn't killing nothing.
No,
I'm pretty sure he died horribly. But
he just had to conduct the whole thing.
Yeah,
he just had to provide the music. He was the guy walking Spotify
who did the fucking like the bum 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 bum, but like Mad Maxified.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. What's the next thing we have on here? Okay, Sam.
Yes,
in your ideal apocalyptic scenario, you use your like giant survival or whatever one you want.
Yeah.
What role would you take? Mm-hmm. And what would your apocalypse outfit be? Okay,
I've thought about this. So do you remember in Harry Potter in the books how in the seventh book, when the Death Eaters are all like crawling around and it's like it's not safe to go outside anymore.
Yeah.
Lee Jordan, who does the commentating for Quidditch at Hogwarts.
He's the only black character, yeah.
Starts up. No. But
Kingsley's black, yeah.
One of very few.
So there's two, great.
Yeah,
Please
or like
continue.
3. I think Dean Thomas is canonically black in the books too.
Okay, sure.
But Lee Jordan starts up like a guerrilla radio station and like gives updates on like safe houses to go to and like updates on like where the Death Eaters are at and where they're attacking and stuff like that. I would love to do that.
Oh, you want to be like the man on the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Because I figured you'd probably take upon like a support role. Mm-hmm. Like you definitely want to be like uplift the community.
Yeah, I'd be like a fucking in D&D. I'd be like a healer or some shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very
like
cool.
not very combative, but like still very useful.
What do you think you're like? Now your apocalypse scenario is still very much like takes place like within days of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So what would your outfit be? What would your like post-apocalyptic outfit be?
This is very much about like fashion and not about like who I am in the apocalypse, because
Sure.
it doesn't make sense for a radio DJ. But I would love like fitted cargo jogger pants with ankle height or like mid-calf height Doc Marten boots.
Right.
Like badass combat boots.
Like you're prepared for the apocalypse, but your ass looks great.
Yeah, and like a short sleeve or like sleeveless black cropped tank top.
You're going for like a Lara Croft look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and I would shave my head.
You would go bald.
I would go bald.
Because you're of the
There's
opinion.
no time.
There's no time. You're right. Because I think
Think about my
right.
hair routine, Cameron.
That's true.
It's completely unmanageable in an apocalypse scenario. There's no point. I would have to shave my head.
And having long hair would be disadvantage to yourself because you could be grabbed. It could get caught on things.
Yep.
Shave it off.
Yep. Just shave it.
Look like Furiosa.
Just fucking shave it.
Be badass, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a part of me, especially like in the really, really dark days of lockdown where like there's no hope. I made peace with the fact that if push came to shove, I would shave my head.
Really?
I love my hair. I love long hair. I'm a person, I don't like short haircuts. I'm not a huge like bald-headed person, and I've said before, like hair is the first thing I notice in a potential partner.
You hate bald
look
people,
at my Cameron. Like I love a good head of hair.
Yeah.
But when the time comes, if it ever does, I'm prepared to shave my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've made peace with that.
I've made peace with it.
Good for you.
It has to happen.
That must took a lot of actual genuine mental fortitude. Like you actually you must have really gotten to a shitty place.
I know you're not like being patronizing, but it sounds like very patronizing.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really not. Like I honestly think like
you've got a little bit of that Sam Mercury disease where you sound like a bitch without meaning to.
I think that's a person disease. I think lots of people deal with that.
Oh, that's so bad.
I got to think for me. So in my scenario, I'm kind of like like any zombie apocalypse. Like you're by yourself before you find a community, right?
Yeah.
So I would want to like dress for the wilds. I want to be like super atypical zombie apocalypse, like a fucking duster, like a long coat duster. And like you said, cargo pants for like all the different like pockets, you know?
Yeah, I know that it's not a good fashion choice, but you need pockets.
I definitely would have. I would sharpen that master sword and bring it with me, like so I have a big sword on my back.
Actual sword, yeah.
You know, probably find some guns or something.
So okay. So you're melee and long range weapons.
Oh, yeah, that's just how it works.
Yeah.
Like, listen, zombies are gonna get up in your face.
Listen, usually someone in this scenario has one or the other.
Yeah.
You either have close range or long distance weapons.
You gotta be prepared both ways.
Yeah.
You can't listen.
But the idea is that you link up with someone who has the opposite.
And maybe when I do, I'll give them the rifle, right? And then I'll be the fucking the ranger warrior, and then they can be the sniper.
Snipe you.
Yeah, and shoot me and steal my things.
I guess let's snipe for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I would definitely want to to do like, I would definitely be the guy like in any zombie apocalypse movie where it's like, you know, people are running, oh my god, and like, you know, like, they're about to die, and then like 3 bullets like kill 3 zombies, and like the camera pans around, and it's like a dude like a long coat with like a Star Wars desert person style mask with goggles, you know, they got the goggles with the head wrap. Yeah. Very, very like I'm hiding my face. Yeah. I like take my goggles off and like pull it down, like, come with me. I can take you to safety. And then I immediately get eaten. Like indiscriminately.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Realistically speaking, like I really don't think I would survive an apocalypse. You know? I'm just some guy from the suburbs, you know? Yeah. I don't have any like I think your friend like I think
entirely spoiled.
Your outdoor friends could fucking maybe survive the apocalypse.
100%.
I would have to make my way to BC immediately. Just to hook up with a particular friend of yours. Yes. To be like, please help us. Find me food. I'm so hungry.
That would be the movie, is us traveling across Canada to find our friend who can help us survive. But in traveling across Canada, we learn how to survive on our own.
New movie idea. It's a cross-country road trip style movie about a couple going across Canada, across the prairies, and like actually genuinely enjoying themselves, but on the backdrop of an actual zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
Like they're like taking like nice selfies and stuff, and it's like corpses everywhere. Yeah. And, like, buildings on fire. Like, wow. I used to be a parm.
Why did it take an apocalypse for us to see Lake Louise?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
This view is beautiful. Yeah. Such a shame that it took this much to get us to travel. What world were we living in before? And we have like a whole monologue with like crescendoing music. Yeah. That's like the ultimate lesson. Yeah, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
And it would always have to be like halfway through the speech, be like, oh, we have to go. And there's like crowds of zombies. Just
yeah. Like as we're like taking a picture, like a single pebble like falls from below and like hits me on the head. I'm like, ow, what was that? And then like 5 zombies are like cascading down the mountain.
So we gotta go.
We gotta go.
Oh fuck.
We gotta go.
Whoops. Roll the windows. Let's go. Yeah. But no, I think like my role in the apocalypse scenario definitely, like if I survive the initial wave, would definitely just be survival. Like I would go hardcore survival mode. Yeah. I would likely be on my own. Mm-hmm. And then like obviously like survival comes in numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So like you'd want to like get together with a group at some point. Mm-hmm. And then like, you know, based on my experience up to that point, maybe I'm really beaten down. I really just want to fucking read a book in the encampment for a little while until I die. Yeah. But you know, maybe I've like hardened up a little bit and I'm like a zombie killer now. Yeah. And it's like, I'll find the food. Come with me, you know? And be like that guy. Yeah. I would never want to be the community leader though.
No. That person always eats it.
Well, always eats it.
They always get corrupted in some way.
Corrupted or betrayed or, you know.
Some semblance of late-stage capitalism like fires up in you a little bit and you start like selling out your community to the zombies.
Because you know what it is? Like the thing.
You don't understand. We can't get as populated as we were before. It doesn't work. Don't you understand? This is what it takes to be in charge. And then These are the difficult decisions you have to make. Yeah.
And then I shoot him mid-sentence. Yeah. Like, that was the easiest decision I've ever made. No, you're right, though, because like, I think like in a post-apocalyptic world, so many people are already so vulnerable and scorned by the fact the world ended. Yeah. That if you found out that your leader was an asshole, you wouldn't elect a new leader. You would just kill that guy. Yeah. Of course you would.
You're like, I'm fed up with this.
No, I'm going to gut you. Yeah. And I'm going to wear your skin like a jacket. Yeah. Because it's the post-apocalypse. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Exactly. There's
actually no consequences for these actions. Yeah. Who gonna check me, boo?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I wouldn't want to be a leader, because the alternative is like lead well or die. Yeah. There's no like lead well and then like, oh, maybe you'll get another 4 years in a term. Yeah. You know, like it's like, no, like.
Oh, maybe I'll just like go back to my law practice.
Do your job or die. Yeah. Motherfucker.
But
that's what I would try to be. I would try to be helpful, right? Because helpful people live in the apocalypse. Yeah. Useless people die.
Yeah, 100%.
In the popular, and you don't like it, but the popular board game, Dead of Winter, there are tokens that are literally considered useless people, and they just take up space. It's children and elderly.
It's rough.
I mean, it's the way it is. What are you gonna do? Send a child out on a fucking scavenging mission? Yeah. You're gonna send a child to an infected police station, they're all gonna die. And the elderly are the same thing. It's all about resource management, baby. Oof. Those people are resources. Shitty resources, but resources nonetheless.
That's a hard truth. I want to move on.
All right, Sam. You are in your apocalypse, and you forced to leave your encampment. You're now on the road. You got a gang. Who's in that gang? Like archetype-wise, like who do you want to cover your bases with you? You know? Okay. Like, do you have an answer?
I need like the insane, gruff, middle-aged man.
Right.
Who, like, learns to not be racist because he doesn't have a choice
anymore.
No
nonsense, yeah.
It's like, no, you gotta work with black people to survive. Like, you may seem super useful because you've been preparing for the apocalypse. He was like a doomsday prepper.
Okay, sure.
And it's like, you've been preparing for the apocalypse for like 15 years, but you still need me.
Right.
I have some qualities.
You have the car.
Yeah. I can drive stick.
Yeah.
So any car on the road, we can pick it up and I can go. You need me, motherfucker.
Exactly.
I want that guy. And like, he learns to like not be so gruff, where it's like, I'm the only person that he likes at the end of the day. It's like, sorry, that's Gary. The only person who can get through to him is Sam.
Exactly.
So you just gotta let him be.
I used to hate minorities, and now I just hate those zombies. That's not. You shouldn't. You should maybe keep that to yourself.
But he knows the kinds of mushrooms that'll kill you, and just we really need him.
Yeah, exactly. He's the survival guy. Yeah.
So survival guy, for sure. I need the tech guy.
Everyone needs a tech guy.
He was like, he worked at like a startup before the apocalypse happened, but he like, you know, we find like a busted ham radio somewhere in like an abandoned barn, and he like fiddles with it and like gets it together, and we like find the commune that's like being put together, and that's where we like have to go off. I'm trying to think. How big is this gang?
4, including you. So you need 3 people.
So one more person.
That's right.
Yeah, we need like a healer.
Oh, like a medic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A healer.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like you use like fantasy terms.
Yeah.
It's
well,
hilarious.
just look at who I'm dating.
Oh
right?
my god.
Yeah. It's like,
but no, a medic.
So
someone who understands how to do like basic stitching and like first aid and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got your survival guy, you got your tech guy, and you got your medic, and then you are the one who brings like the leadership qualities.
Sure.
Like
I keep us all together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're the heart of the group.
Yeah.
Which is like code for like you don't really do much.
When the medic is like misogynistic to the nurse, I'm like, hey, go opposite sides of the room now.
I will put you in the get along sweater.
Yeah.
It survived the apocalypse with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll be right back with my answers.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Do you want to stay updated on everything ChillSpot, from our Twitch stream schedules to posts about new videos? Be sure to follow us on social media at ChillSpot Show on Instagram and Twitter. Back to the podcast.
Okay, Cameron. It's the apocalypse. Your zombie apocalypse has happened. The predictions came true. You need 3 archetypal people
to bring along
in your team. Who is on your team?
I agree with all the archetypes you picked, but I'm going to assess myself for a minute, you know?
Okay.
So I'm a big guy. What I bring to the table, I think, in the zombie apocalypse scenario, let's assume that I adapted, right? Like with the assumption that like time has gone by and that I've learned how to acclimate to this like world that I live in. Considering my size and my tenacity, I think I'd be a bruiser. Okay. Like I would be the guy who does a lot of the killing.
Like blunt force.
You know, a lot of like the zombie killer shit. Like that's what I would bring to the table.
Okay.
So I need the people to cover my bases of the stuff that I don't do.
Okay.
I think what's important for a zombie apocalypse guy, I will echo your sentiment of a tech guy.
Okay.
But different. I need a tinkerer and a mechanic.
Okay.
Because these cars aren't going to work forever.
Right.
Right? And like vehicles are essential at this point in time because we need to get away from where we are to somewhere else. And what are we, pilgrims? We can't just walk there.
Well, especially in a zombie apocalypse, like zombies can't drive.
Exactly.
That's like the one thing you always have over them. They can drive away.
You know, you could always like get across a highway and then like, you know, get to a point where it's like, oh shit, we're blocked at this, we'll walk for a bit and find another car, you know, but we need to be able to jumpstart. I don't know how to do that. So I need someone to cover that base for me. I'm torn on the medic because if you get bit by a zombie, that's it. There's not really a point in having someone to heal you around. But that being said, you could also get injured in all sorts of ways. It's good to understand first aid.
You also, like, you don't need other shit making it worse.
This is true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you want somebody who's going to be able to put your arm in a splint if need be, so that you don't, like, lose an arm or some shit.
I would definitely say, like, a medic is integral. I would combine a medic with a survivalist. Someone who ideally, like, an outdoorsy person. Because, like, if you think about it, like, a lot of people I know who are outdoorsy also are trained in first aid because it's essential. If you're going to be out in the wild, you got to understand how to heal yourself, help yourself if you're going to get injured. So like, I would definitely have like a scavenger style ranger type who like is like, I know the forest around here, you know, like we'll be able to get through, you know, and who also knows how to do like quick first aid, splinting,
knows how to make a band-aid,
knows how to make a band-aid, knows how to make camps, because it's going to be a big thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So my wilderness person, and then like, so I got my mechanic, I got my wilderness person, I'm the zombie killer, which then would lead like someone diplomatic.
Okay.
Someone who knows how to talk to people.
Okay.
Because like, we're going to come across
like
other groups.
Okay.
Like someone, the face of a party.
Gotcha.
In D&D terms, called the face of the party.
Okay.
The most charismatic person.
Okay.
Right? Who's like good at talking. Because we're going to reach points where we got to like trade for shit. We got to reach points we might have to like barter for like shelter. We might even want to join a community.
You might encounter a hostile group.
Exactly.
That's, come across some hard times.
And like, listen, we got guns and shit. Like, we can defend ourselves, but like, where are we gonna get bullets? We can't just like spend our bullets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's another big thing that people don't take into account when it comes to the apocalypse is resource management.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I'll just get my gun and shoot. Well, great. What are you gonna do when you're out of ammo? Not making more bullets. The bullet factories didn't survive the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So like, once you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
So like,
take that, NRA.
Yeah. But the thing is, you come across a group that's hostile, if they're logical, they're thinking the same thing we're thinking. We're like, they want what we have, but they also don't want to spend what they have in terms of resources, right? So the party face comes out, hey, fellas, let's talk about this. Let's be rational about this. Listen, we don't got to be hostile. Why don't we give you some of our stuff, you give me some of your stuff, and we can both be on our way.
Listen, I've got a forager here. He can teach you guys about like what's good to eat around here.
Exactly.
In exchange for, some resources.
We have some extra gauze. We'll give you the gauze if you promise not to hurt us, and we can be on our way. I want that guy because I think in my I'm already like I'm okay at talking. I mean, we do a podcast. But like in my gruff apocalypse form, I probably would be pretty.
You'd be less
quiet.
diplomatic. Yeah.
I'd be more like kill first, ask questions later kind of guy.
Gotcha.
Because I've just been surviving for so long at this point. But that would be my crew. That's a good crew. I'd be the bruiser, the zombie killer, and then you got your forager, your survivalist, and then you got your mechanic, and then you got your diplomat.
Your face,
your face of the party.
I think that's good.
It's good party structure.
Yeah. No, that's balanced because I like how you accounted for how some people, because I was very much like, you do this thing, you do this thing, you do this thing, go. But you were like, no, if you know this and you probably know this, so I don't need to waste a whole person on a medic when the survivalist probably knows a little bit about first aid. So I'm covered there. That's smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's obviously making lots of assumptions, but we're also hypothetical, so who cares? We're having fun.
True.
Ladies and gents.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I could be the face. It's interesting that you say you wouldn't be very social or diplomatic or anything like that. I feel like I would increase the amount with which I talk because it's all that I have.
You'd be the diplomat of your party.
I don't have a lot of kinetic skills. Most of my skills have to do with communication.
Right.
So I think I would just pump that up a little bit more. I would force myself to have to be a little bit more of an extrovert in an apocalyptic society.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Because that's all I got. All I have is my mouth. So you got to make it work.
Gotta see what that mouth do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta make that mouth
that
do.
also because something that you just did but didn't initially was talk about what you bring to the table, right? You were the person with the car was the joke we made, but you would be the face of your party.
Yeah.
I just don't think that I would want to be the face of my party.
Understandable. Yeah.
Be much more confident in my physical abilities.
But yeah,
in this scenario,
I'd like to think that it's funny because and I think I've said this before, as a person with anxiety, my brain is always catastrophizing. When you live in a catastrophe, it's actually really okay to catastrophize.
Right.
Because the worst thing is always around the corner. It literally is.
You can always plan for the worst case scenario because you can pretty much assume that it's going to happen. Yeah.
So, and this has happened before. The odd times where there's an emergency. When I got in a car accident, I was very calm. When the rare time that we've had to call an ambulance for a friend or something like that, it's always okay, this is what we got to do, and this is how we got to do it. Or if somebody's crying and breaking down and shit like that, I'm like, okay, the worst thing that I could do is make somebody cry, so let's deal with it.
Right.
And I'd be very prepared to handle sort of high octane emotional situations.
Right. In real genuine danger, you sort of zen out.
Yeah.
But then in low stakes, in stakes where it's unclear how dangerous things are going to be, that's when the anxiety sets in. Right.
Because you don't know.
Exactly. It's the unknown.
This state of not knowing is the worst.
Totally.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I think this has been a pretty good episode of the Chill Spot podcast, Sam.
Hopefully I didn't bum you out too much. It's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And hopefully we never have to actually employ any of the things that we just talked about.
Of course. Yeah. Well, we would survive. We would persevere.
Yeah.
That's the message of this episode.
And we would want you on our team.
Exactly.
So join us.
Why don't you comment in the comment section below what apocalypse scenario you think you could survive? Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear it.
Let us know your team too. I'd love to hear about like
I want to hear
what archetypes you would or like what fictional character you would want on your team. That'd be really cool.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Chill Spot podcast, and we hope you come around for the next one.
Yep, we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 3 p.m.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
The Chill Spot.
Hey, did you know that I'm an independent artist? I only talk about it all the time. You can follow me on social media at Cameron Draws. I do cheap commissions and cool characters. Come follow and hang out. Back to the podcast.
Hey everybody, Sam and Cam here. Thank you so much for listening to this latest episode of the Chill Spot podcast. But we have one more favor to ask of you. Could you leave us a review? It helps us out so much. As Cameron always said, podcasts live or die by word of mouth. So if the platform that you're listening to us on allows for reviews, give us a little cheeky 5 stars or a thumbs up and let everybody know how fantastic the Chill Spot podcast really is. Thank you so much.
Bye.